Welcome, everybody. This is an interview for DestinyTracker.com. My name is zombiezander. I'm joined today by GernaderJake.
What's up, everyone?
And yeah, so we're just going to get to know him a little bit better and try and get his thoughts on Destiny 2, the new DLC, what he thinks is going to help the game along, what if we're headed in the right direction. Yeah, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started in video games, streaming, and let's just jump off from there and see where it goes.
Sounds good. So I started playing Xbox back in 7th grade. It was Halo 2 was my first game. And I would just, play casually. I didn't have Xbox Live, so I would just play the campaign, and when friends came over, I'd play with them a little bit. When I got Xbox Live is when my gaming career kind of started to take off. I immediately started to get obsessed and play too many hours of Halo 2 for an 8th grader back then. But I got really good, and I started making YouTube videos and stuff. Fast forward about 10 years or so, I'm still making some YouTube videos, but now I'm playing a game called Destiny 1. And I was playing a game and did really well, and somebody messaged me and was basically like, hey, what's your Twitch? And I was like, what's a Twitch? What do you mean? He's like, there's no way you don't stream, like, after you had that kind of a kick-butt game. Like,
you're too good.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, what is it? Stop lying to me. And I was like, I guess I should make one of these things if I'm supposed to have one. So made a Twitch account about 3.5 years ago, and started just doing it very casually. But after about 4 or 5 months, Trials came out, and I still was doing it casually, but more and more people started to watch, and I started helping people go flawless, and more people started to watch, and that kind of helped launch my my streaming career. And I've been a full-time streamer for 3 years now. Been playing mostly Destiny, but in the past, year or so, I've been playing some H1Z1s and Fortnite as well. Yeah, video games have always been a big part of my life since 7th grade, and it's always been Halo and Call of Duty and Destiny, first-person shooters mainly.
Yeah,
it's been fun.
Oh yeah, totally. So you said you started in Halo 2.
Yeah, so that was the first game I played.
So you've been a fan of like the Bungie. Was your love of Halo, the Halo series, kind of what led you into trying out Destiny?
I would say so. I mean, what's interesting is I had heard about Destiny about 3 years before it was going to come out. Bungie kind of announced we're working on some crazy, never before seen game, and I was like, oh, that sounds amazing. I can't wait to see what it turns out to be. And then the day it came out, I think it was September 5th or 6th, whatever. The day it came out in 2014, I actually didn't know it was coming out until the night before. And somebody was like, hey, you gonna go pick out that Destiny game tomorrow? And I was like, holy crap, that game they announced like 3 years ago, it's coming out tomorrow? Someone was like, yeah. I was like, sure, I'll go pick it up. Like, why not? We'll try it out. So I didn't even really know it was coming out until the night before. And then I just went out and got it to see what it was like and became obsessed with it pretty quick.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, definitely. Were you playing on Xbox or PS4 when you first started?
Xbox. I've always been an Xbox guy.
Translating over from the Halo, Halo wasn't on PS4, so you probably already had that Xbox. Might as well pick it up.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, and then so comparing Destiny PvP to Halo PvP, how was that transition for you, and what made it fresh and exciting?
Well, at first, I'll admit, it was actually not fresh or exciting. It was frustrating. Like, really, at the very beginning of Destiny 1, I was so used to simplistic shooters where, there's like 4 or 5 guns you need to know about. Everybody walks the same speed.
One jump height, there's one
exactly.
Speed.
Everybody walks the same speed. Everybody jumps the same way. Everybody's using the same guns, has the same grenades. And then I went into this PvP mode where, there's a hunter, a titan, a warlock. There's at this point in time, there were 2 different subclasses for each. There's 3 different grenades for each of those subclasses, different jumps for each of those subclasses, different forms of a super. I had no idea what was going on, man. It was like colors were flashing everywhere. I got suppressed. I was like, what the heck does this mean? Some dude was popping a golden gun. I was like, how'd he get that? That looks awesome. I was so unaware of what was something I was capable of doing and what was something I had to find in the game, or what was something that was unlocked via a subclass. So at the very beginning, I was just confused and honestly turned off by it. I was like, this game mode, like, screw this PvP. It's really confusing. I don't get what's going on. Like, it seems silly. So after investing maybe 2 to 3 weeks into PvE and starting to understand more like what were perks on weapons versus what was something that was achieved via a subclass. And once I started kind of like those ideas started settling in, I was like, okay, I think I actually understand now how this works. I'm going to go give PvP a shot. And once like I was saying, once I understood, you know, what was a grenade, how I could obtain these grenades, what a super was, and how to do that, that's when it all started clicking. And I was like, wow, this gunplay feels really good. It's really exciting, really fast paced. I can see myself getting into this.
Yeah, no, I can admit my first time through, it was chaos, and definitely with everything that goes on with the gameplay itself, and there's so many flashy colors and effects and things that are being thrown around that, yeah, I mean, I'm totally there with you. Did you once you started to get a grasp on it, did you turn to like Reddit or anything for some theory crafting, ways to really hone your craft and get better at the game?
No, so I've always been a super, super basic gamer until I guess about 3 years ago when I started on Twitch. I didn't look up YouTube videos. I did not go to Reddit. I didn't go to Bungie forums. I played with my friends, and that was it. I was always, I'm not trying to sound like I'm arrogant here. I've always been pretty good at PvP. So I've always been able to kind of just find my own way and figure things out for myself. But yeah, I probably would have benefited had I started reading, you know, different Reddit forums and stuff to figure out what the quote unquote meta was. But I usually just kind of messed around on my own and discovered it myself with my friends.
Yeah. No. Cool. I've always been the kind of guy that just tries to digest every little piece of information on the internet to try and get better at the game. Like, what perk is good in this? Oh, counterbalance. Okay. All right, time to get that gun. And gotta go flawless in the lighthouse and get the God, I don't
Counterbalance doctrine.
Yep, that's the one.
There it is.
Well, because for a while I had, I was like, oh, this doctrine's pretty great. I didn't have counterbalance on it, but I made sure to utilize the perk where the longer you shoot, the steadier it gets. So I'm always pre-firing around corners and stuff, and just waiting for the moment that I get that counterbalance. But, yeah, that's awesome. So, kind of pivoting over to Destiny 2. Where do you think the state of the game is right now that we've gotten a new patch release here in May, and we have more and seemingly even more exciting things on the horizon coming in September? Where do you think the game is as far as both from a streaming perspective and also a competitive stance?
Okay. I think that I'll start with PvE briefly. I think that PvE has gone from about a 3 out of 10 to about a 9 out of 10 with this update.
Wow.
It's greatly increased. It went from being there's nothing to really grind for, no reason to grind, power doesn't matter, the raid's easy either way, no, you know, good weapons to seek, to actually a bunch of different things you can be doing, different quests you can be doing. Power actually matters and is harder to obtain. In PvE, that is. Power still doesn't matter in PvP, unfortunately. But the grind for PvE, I think, has gotten a lot of people back into the game. A lot of people that thought they were, you know, quote unquote quitting or whatnot have actually found themselves
Right.
coming back just because the grind in PvE is exciting again and addicting again. So I think they knocked it out of the park with this update regarding PvE. I do, however, think that in about 3 or 4 weeks, we might see that hype for it die off as people hit 385 and find the weapons that they were hoping to find and stuff. I think that grind and that addiction for PvE might die off pretty soon.
Yeah.
But it's great that it's happening because a lot of people who thought they were done are coming back. And I think that it also will get people more excited for the future. Some people who thought, oh, I don't even care about September, now are probably going to be excited for the next big update. So it's definitely a good thing for PvE to be really good. Let's transition to PvP though.
Okay.
I think at the beginning of Destiny 2, I would rate PvP about a 1.5 out of 10, just being honest. And unfortunately,
Understandable.
unfortunately, I would still only give it maybe about a 2.5 out of 10. They haven't fixed PvE really or PvP, sorry, almost at all, in my opinion. They took away radar for comp, which was controversial. I think in this game, it's actually a good thing because the way that radar worked was it was so long distance and it's such a team shot meta that with that radar, all you had was people camping in specific rooms as a team of 4, just team shotting specific lanes. And it was horribly frustrating to play. So the lack of radar with this current meta, I actually think is beneficial, which is why I'd say it's now a 2.5 instead of a 1.5. It does allow for people to actually maneuver around the map a little bit more and make more exciting plays where before they would have been seen on radar 5 seconds before the engagement and would have gotten instantly team shot as soon as they peaked. So it's improving, but the excitement of the exotic weapons, the Graviton Lance, these things that people were thinking are going to bring back the super exciting plays and whatnot. Yeah. In quick play, you still got the team shoddy, campy stuff where a bad team, truly, a bad team can beat a good team if the bad team wants to sit together and the good team just wants to run around and mess around. A good team will look bad simply because the team that isn't so good with gun skill sits together and plays as a team. And that's kind of frustrating because that didn't used to happen. And it still does happen because these weapons that we thought were going to be incredibly, high skill and high power aren't really high skill and high power enough.
Yeah, I mean, the way that you describe just kind of the state of PvP, I think we're all yearning for something kind of snappy, like The Last Word, like in year 1 or year 2. It just it felt so good. This thing was exotic. It was the way to counter the shotgun rushers. It was something different amongst the regular meta, like when kind of Juggernaut Titan was the way to go. And I agree. I tend to agree with you in the way that the PvP, it's kind of fun, but it still is lacking some sort of just X factor to really bring it into the forefront of a truly competitive and exciting to watch and play game. So
what I'll say is that I think they're heading in the right direction, and I think they know what they need to do, and they're not making it really detailed or specific, but they are telling us weapon slot changes are coming in September. And everybody who visited Bungie for the summit is basically saying, get ready, guys. September's going to be amazing, and PvP is going to be awesome. I do genuinely think that they are going to do the power or the primary and the sniper shoddy secondary kind of thing again. Yeah. I think they're going to bring that back. I think that they will probably continue to make weapons more powerful. It should be, and I think it has been, a huge wake-up call to Bungie, who, I'll just be completely honest with you, I think they felt a little invincible going into D2. Yeah. I think they kind of had this we're the best mentality, and we're a little bit arrogant, thinking, oh, no matter what we do, people will love our game, and we're expanding the PC, so this is going to be a phenomenal game, and everyone's going to love us. I kind of think they had that attitude a little bit. And I think they got a wake-up call. I think they had a tremendous amount of negative feedback. Of course, at the same time, their game basically fails. Fortnite comes out, and the Epic Games is just consistently listening to their community. They'll have a 3 to 4 day turnaround on some feedback, where Bungie's feedback takes 3 to 4 months. Right. So I think they're getting a huge wake-up call, and I think they're starting to adapt to the new culture of gaming, which is the community wants their developers to listen to them and not have it take 6 months. They want it to be transparent. So when they say things, they want the devs to actually recognize them and note and mention, hey, we hear this feedback. We're going to work on this, because Epic Games does that. Other gaming studios does that or do that. But unfortunately, Bungie's been really slow about that. So I think they've gotten the kick in the butt that they've needed. I think they'll be more willing to pull the trigger on things and take risks on things they need to take risks on. And I think that in September, we're going to see some really big changes, because they know they need to. And the people who went to the summit, who I don't think would lie about excitement, seem genuinely excited. So I'm looking forward to see what happens. Yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely a ton of buzz coming out of the summit, and I
I really just the way that people have been talking on Twitter and obviously a lot of them still feel that the really big improvements are coming in September. So I'm just counting down the months, man. That being said, I'm still having fun. I'm enjoying myself playing Destiny. It brought back a bit of the freshness. I mean, Escalation Protocol it's actually pretty fun. It's chaotic. It's crazy. You get 9 different players in there, just jumping around, shooting, trying to do different little mini quests within the actual gameplay of the whatever it's called. Yeah, Escalation Protocol. So I think it's in a good place, and it can get better. Let's see. So there's been news of this Las Vegas Destiny 2 event. There's a lot of buzz around it. It's happening over the summer. What are your thoughts on that?
So it's happening in about a month, I think, just end of June.
Yeah.
I originally thought was gonna go, but it's for different reasons. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's great that the community is doing this and trying to get this buzz around it, but I think it's the wrong time. And hopefully we can do it again in the future, which will mean it wasn't the wrong time. It just means that, the first one happened to be during a not so great meta. But I don't think that the players that people are going to want to see in this to create all the buzz are going to be there. And I don't think that the gameplay is going to be exciting enough to make it so thousands upon thousands of people want to watch it. I think it will be a highly viewed event for Destiny. And I think that for the community that's still very involved in Destiny, they will like to see it. But for example, if we had waited till October when year 2 happened and people had some time to adjust to it, I think we would have seen whoever it is that, you guys listening right now, whoever it is you're thinking about that, oh, I'd love to see that person play in a PvP tournament. I bet you they would be around to play in it if it was in October. Yeah. But I bet you that those people will not be here in June.
Yeah. Makes sense, especially with the way that it sounds like changes are coming. You're right. I feel like it would be more exciting if it came in the fall, but it is still really cool because it's kind of the first of its kind in the Destiny world.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to sound super negative. I think it is going to be a really, really cool event, and I think it's going to create a lot of buzz in the Destiny community. And I can't wait to see how it turns out. I'm going to definitely be tuning in and checking it out throughout those 3 days. But the point I was trying to make is that if we had a one-time shot at this thing, then I would say now is not the time. If we're going to do this more than once and have it be a reoccurring thing, then by all means, let's go for it. And there's no problem with doing it right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. I think it's really cool to see, and I'm glad that we're taking the steps to start really trying to formulate, and build the hype around Destiny again. And it's a cool step for PvP for sure. And I can't wait to see what Jake Parker and his crew are going to do in the future, what other tournament organizers are going to be doing in the future. I think that the horizon looks good. I can't speak to anything concretely yet, obviously, because I don't know the changes that are going to be made in the future, but I think it looks good. Let's see. So, I guess that just about wraps it up. I mean, I think we covered a lot of really good stuff about Destiny 2 and the state of the game and what your thoughts are on the future. So I got to say thank you so much. This has been GernaderJake and zombiezander, and thanks so much for coming on, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was fun.
All right. Well, have a great day, and we will see you in the future.
All righty. Bye, guys.